County Board of Commissioners recess meeting from November the 2nd to order. And I'd like to thank those that are here for coming. And we've got two or three items of business. The first thing is we have to do a public hearing on the redistricting plan. And at this time, we will need a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion from Dr. Sims, seconded by Commissioner Sturtevant, to open the public hearing. Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. We are now in the public hearing. The other thing I'd just like to remind us, I was informed by the clerk, I guess people that's listening on live stream say that they have a problem of hearing us, so let's make sure that we have our mics down and that we speak loud.
Are you cut off, right?
We are on, yes, sir. Okay, we're in public hearing, and we have Mr. Todd Moore signed up to speak. Mr. Moore.
Good afternoon, folks.
Afternoon.
I'll just stand here because I do want to reference the map, if that's okay. Most of you guys know who I am. Todd Moore, I'm a lifelong resident of White Store community. Been there 59 years. Ran a very close but unsuccessful campaign against Mr. Sims 3.5 years ago. It was awful close, 11 votes. Campaign I've been working on now for about 5 years, with plans to run next year. I understand Mr. Sims is not planning to run. My goal was to represent the folks in White Store, Peachland, and Polkton, where I live. Due to the new map that is being drawn, that's not going to allow me to do that. I'm now going to be moved into the Morgan district, which is a lifelong resident of White Store. I'm not able to represent the people that I live with, and I fully disagree with that. If you'll indulge me a moment.
Right here, right here.
I don't know if you guys can see the old map. The old map followed 109 South to a district. I'm on Union Church, but I'm right here. I'm right in the very corner of my district. The new map comes out to about, I think this is Redfern Road. It's a little loop-through road. It comes back to Union Church, which I live on. They started Redfern Road, arbitrary line to South Carolina line, just straight shot, following no boundaries, no roads, no anything. Basically, if you happen to live on this line, you can sleep in Morgan and eat in White Store if your house is split by that line. So there's no boundary to say that this line follows. It's just an arbitrary line to South Carolina. My question is, why does it not follow some type of a highway like every other one here in the county except this one? Now again, that puts me in Roberts District. I have no wish to run against Robert as county commissioner in 3 more years or 4 more years whenever he's up for election. My wish and my quandary is I want to serve the folks from Peachland, Polkton, White Store. But due to this map, I'm unable to do that.
Well, you had an awful lot of people that came out and voted for you. I didn't really think I would have difficulty, and come to find out it was right down to the wire.
It was 11 votes, 578 to 589. I remember it very well. I put a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of money into that. And I have in the past 3 years talking to people and gaining support till I see this map. That's not going to allow me to do what I want to do. So I ask, is there anything that can be done?
Mr. Chair, this is the public comment section, I believe. Is that not true?
Yes, sir.
We're not in the open hearing yet, correct?
Yes, sir. Oh, well, yeah,
We are in the hearing.
We're open hearing.
Public hearing, okay, good. Okay, that's
open hearing.
Just want to make sure.
So my question again, is there anything that can be done? Or am I totally out of the picture here?
It's my understanding that the Board of Commissioners hired a private firm.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And that the private firm crunched data, and they had to draw lines based on population according to the statute. And the way they drew these lines, that's where it happened. Is this line, the one you identified as an arbitrary line, it does seem arbitrary. They went by population here versus this is a lot less populated up here. That's why the districts are bigger than they are. Or some are bigger than the others. It goes by the population.
I agree with that.
And that was why they had to do that.
But I live in White Store community, but yet I can't represent White Store community. I disagree with that based on the fact, again, that I live in a community I'm not able to represent. So that's my spiel. Appreciate what you guys do.
People in our community, which I'm well aware of, having served 6 straight terms, like Mr. Moore very well.
And I appreciate that, and I had a lot of support. Like you said, it was against an incumbent who'd been in for many years. I thought it was a very, very close race. And again, my plans were to run again next year. I understand, again, Mr. Sims is done. My goal was to represent the folks that I live with, work with, and live with, you know. So now, based on this map, I'm not able to do that. If you're looking at the old map,
I just want to
I'm
see.
right here,
Right.
right in the edge of it. So now the new map goes
Gotcha, yeah.
here. So,
Okay, I guess I'm kind of at a loss, Mr. Moore. I hear and understand your concerns, and as Mr. Forbes pointed out, we did hire, actually it was Central Carolina Regional Council to redo the districts based on the population, and that's directed by the, for lack of better, the general statutes in the state because of the census and the change in the location of the population. That's why it was done. And at this point, I don't know that we have any avenues to address your concern, and because of the fact that, and I'll just put this out there, you know, if we would try to get it done for one, then I'm pretty sure that others would come up, and we just have an issue. And if you remember, there's things that come up typically when the state redoes their districts, and a lot of times when I think it's the controlling party in the General Assembly has the option to redo their districts, and they always have a mess about, you know, trying to make it fit what they want.
may I ask one question?
Go right ahead, yes, sir.
You guys are contesting the census, correct?
We plan to contest it. We haven't got all the data yet to show it.
Look, I just want to throw a hypothetical situation out there.
Right.
It comes back that it was wrong. The lines are redrawn again. When they're redrawn, I'm back in Peaceland Post, possibly. But yet I'm too late to sign up
Is
to
that
run.
right?
So I'm still, you know, my question is, should the census not be confirmed to be correct before you do this? Rather than, you know, I'm just.
I understand.
I'm just thinking, you know, I would wanna know
November
that
17th.
the census
State law.
was exactly correct if I'm gonna redraw the lines before.
The
Right.
state law, it has to be done before November the 17th.
I understand. But again, if you guys are contesting the census, what are my avenues, if it comes back and says, okay, we were wrong, yeah, we're gonna put you back in White Store
Right.
in June. Well, election starts in December. December 2nd through 12th to sign up for the election.
Right. You know, that.
What
that
are my
question-
avenues at that point, any?
At this point, I would say we have no recourse. That was my question initially when this came, because I knew we were looking at challenging the census, and I said, you know, if we do that and it changes, you know, what impact does it have on what we're doing now, or can we do this later? And I was informed that the state, we have to have this in, the Board of Elections has to have this in by, the 17th. And, we don't have the time to redo the census by that time. So our hands are kinda tied. We don't really have any options. We're just in this predicament. We have to move forward with this now because of the, dates set forth.
Well, again, I just don't think it's fair to live in a community that you can't represent. That's just my whole series behind it.
I hear you and I understand your concerns. It's just that our hands are tied right now and being able to do anything about it. That's, and to be honest with you, I really hate that, but that's where we are. We have to follow the statutes and the state guidelines, and there's not anything we can do, you know. Anyone else have anything? Any of the commissioners have anything to say?
This is a long shot, but is there a deadline to be a write-in candidate? Like, say the census were to find some difference and say it scooted the line back to where you were eligible for that district again, does the state require a write-in candidate to meet a certain deadline prior to going?
Right now, what he's saying is, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it out there, Mr. Ford has anything to add. Right now, he's wanting to file in December.
Understand.
Well, I'd have to file in
Yeah,
December.
that's what I'm saying, he has to file in December for this election.
Yeah.
Because of where the district line's gonna be, he can't be a write-in candidate in a district he doesn't live in.
No, if the census were to find something
Oh, okay.
irregularity and they would scoot the line back, cause his concern is we're not getting it done prior to the census challenge. And if the census were challenged and say it was found to be wrong, and the line wound up back where it was, and I know this is maybe something you wouldn't even wanna do, but can a write-in candidate, do they have a deadline they have to,
That would have to be for the next election cycle. I don't know if it comes before the election, I'm not sure. Ford, you gonna know anything about that?
I do believe these are two separate issues. Even if the census is challenged, you would have to revisit the issue of the district.
Okay.
We have to go by the present information. The reason they do that is they want information put in here. They have to move forward because they can't have an election held up on stuff like that. So everything can be challenged, but they want to have some certainty so they can have an election. And that is one of the things that they're
Is
required
Charlotte doing
by
the
state law.
exact same thing right now?
Pardon,
Is
sir?
Charlotte doing the exact same thing right now? Holding off on the election until they get redistricted?
I do not know.
I do. They all-
Okay.
They were municipal elections that were scheduled for this year. Because they run at the same time, so they run on the off years from the county elections. This is for the county elections in next year. So the Charlotte elections were moved, but that doesn't affect counties. Counties run in even years. So we have to provide this by November 17th to get everything ready for the spring primaries. That's why the state has established this deadline. We don't have the option of changing our elections. Charlotte got statutory approval for a state.
We don't have
approval
any
for that.
options to amend any of this. Y'all don't have any options to amend any of this before it goes back to the state.
The problem is if you start moving lines, then you get out of whack. The districts all have to be plus or minus 5% of the average number of population. That's why we had to redistrict. Actually, out of 7 districts, 6 of the 7 were significantly out of whack.
I saw the numbers, but I can tell you based on what I'm looking at right there, if you move that line back to 109 south, you're gonna add about 12 people. Is the only difference it's gonna make. There's about 4 families. So I'm just saying, I mean, I'm not saying add 40 people. I'm just saying that from what I know from my road to Union Church, you're gonna add about a dozen people, but I understand. I don't agree, I understand.
I anticipate something like this. I did a little reading.
Mm-hmm.
We're not unique in this situation. Every time you draw a line, you have someone that's near that line, and they're either right there on the line or back. And I even looked at it several years ago. Where I live, in Peachland, 750 Newtonmore Road, I live on the south side of 218.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Bricken is my representative where I live. And so that would, and if I ran for school board, it would be against Mr. Mike Turner as well. So I would be in the Ansonville district, and I live less than 2 miles from Peachland. That is the luck of the draw, if you will, and so I looked it up. These discussions come up every single time they redistrict anything. There were people that were affected by that, so it's not unique.
Right.
It's an animal we have to deal with, and I'm not diminishing your concern whatsoever. I'm just saying it happens this way.
Okay, any other comments by anyone? Okay, hearing none, then we need a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Sturdivant.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Gatewood to close the public hearing. Okay, on the agenda that we have the motion for approving the redistricting resolution.
I make a motion to approve the resolution recommending the new Anson County, Commissioner voting district by Central Carolina that they presented to us to accept map C.
Okay. Is that second? Seconded by Commissioner Mims. Any further discussion?
I would like to say I'm going to vote aye but if there's any way possible between here and the 17th that happens to arise to help us to more, I'm in favor of it.
Okay.
And Dr. Sims, I'm in a similar
Same
camp.
here.
I feel likewise, anything that we could do, to make the adjustment, if we have the time,
Right.
because this has to be in by November the 17th. I would certainly be, supportive of making that adjustment.
Yeah,
I guess just to make matters worse, it's got to be to the Board of Elections by the 14th.
by the 14th.
If I remember right, but
They
anyway,
have to
okay.
get it to Raleigh by the 17th.
17th, yeah. Okay, we've heard the, concerns and the wishes. Anything else? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
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 Opposers, like sign. The motion carried, it is unanimous. Okay, the, second item of business is the, budget amendment, and that budget amendment is to cover the cost of the, $100 gift cards for the employees for Christmas, and it's in the amount of, $25,000. So, we need a motion.
I make a motion that we, approved it to cover the cost for the, gift cards to the employees.
Second?
A motion by Commissioner Sturtevant, seconded by Commissioner Gatewood to approve the budget amendment in the amount of $25,000 for the, gift cards for the employees for Christmas.
This
Yeah.
is something we do every Christmas. It's not anything new.
The only thing changes the amount, but we do something for the employees every Christmas. Any further discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, like sign. Okay, motion carried, is unanimous, the, budget amendment is approved. Okay, at this time, we have a closed session, one for personnel under North Carolina General Statute 143, 318.11, parentheses A and 6, and, one for, consulting with the attorney, General Statute 143, 318.11, parentheses A, parentheses 5. Okay, we need a motion to go into closed session.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Mills, seconded by Commissioner Sturtevant to go into closed session. All in favor, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign.